Let's look at one more function that uses bitwise operators. In this function, we are going to reverse the bits of a number. So for example, let's say I have an 8-bit number x, bits going down from B7 to B0. With this function, I'm going to exactly flip this around, so it's kind of like, B0 becomes the most significant bit and B7 becomes the least significant bit. And you notice every bit has been basically, reversed in this whole process, right? So kind of like, with slicing in strings, we could do this. But here we are going to use the bitwise operators to do this, this reversal. Now, this, while it's interesting to code, it's also quite useful in several applications in engineering. So this is actually indeed used in practice, right? In fact, doing this is kind of like an extension of swapping the bits that we had seen earlier, except that this has to now happen on every bit, which means that basically, B0 will go to sort of B7, B7 will go to B0, B1 will go to B6, B6 will go to B1, and so on and so forth. However, the main idea remains exactly the same. So what we are going to do is, for example, take B3, I'm going to find out what the value of that bit is by doing a bitwise AND with, let's say, all zeros and a 1 here. I'm going to shift it down to the, let's say, 0th position. This is just a temporary step. And then shift it up to, let's say, 4, because bit 3 must go to bit 4. Bit 4 must go to bit 3. So if I were to handle, for example, bit 6, I'm going to shift it down to 0 again and then take it to 1. So it really kind of a generalization of the swapping bits idea. Basically, do it on all the bits with a for loop, and you will find that the number has been reversed. Let's do this in code so that becomes more clear. So I get back to my code. I just write one more function over here. Let's call it, let's say, def, let's say, reverse, say reverse bits of x, and I can put a comment here, say reverse, reverse the bits. I define a variable called, say, x new. Now this is what I'm going to return later on. Notice I need to do this on every bit of the number. So I just run a for loop here. I just find out what is the bit on that location, exactly same as what we were doing in the, the LED project. So I do this by finding, let's say, 1 left shift by kk. So that finds me the bit kk. Like I said, temporarily I shift it down to 0. So that is basically saying that, okay, look, I'll take bkk and left shift it with kk. Now, very interesting, the use of bitwise operators here. And finally, I will update my x new by doing a bitwise OR, let's say, so bkk, so kk underscore 0 and left shift by, say, 7 minus kk. Now basically what this is doing is, notice it's going from 0 until 7. So every bit is being sequentially, let's say, being formed, right? So think through it, very nice. It kind of reverses the entire, the number. And I can then say return, for example, x new. So that will be my bit reverse, let's say, a bit reverse number. Now, as before, let's, look at some examples as to what we are expecting from this. Let's say I were to reverse the bits of bit number 1. Well, number 1 is basically 00000001. If I were to reverse it, it's going to end up being 128 because 10000000. If I were to reverse, let's say, 255, well, nothing will change because everything is 1 and I will end up with the same 255. If I were to reverse 100, well, 100 is this 0110 0100. If I were to reverse this, it's going to be 0010 0110, which is 38. And finally, 160, just some examples. 160, if I were to reverse, it's going to become 5. Let's take these 4 examples to sort of make sure our code is, let's say, working fine. So I run my program. Let's say I do, say reverse, say, reverse bits, for example, 1. Well, it gives you 128. Say 255, that is 255. Reverse bit 100 is 38 as we had expected. Reverse bits 160 is indeed 5. So, as you notice, sometimes the number becomes larger. For example, 1 became 128. Sometimes the number becomes smaller. And quite, let's say, in all cases, the bit representation is being reversed. Like I said, this has some interesting applications in engineering. I hope you found this interesting. In general, building activities, enhancing them is a great way to learn programming. And that's what we do at YByte. Look at our website, www.ybyte.in, because we learn Python programming through such fun activities. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.